How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another live stream and episode of Let's Build Twitter. After a couple years of this YouTube thing, I finally learned how to actually schedule a live stream. I thought y'all were crazy. I didn't actually know you could schedule live streams, so that's interesting. Hopefully the audio is okay. I haven't gotten to the point of editing up the other stream where I edited or I changed the audio settings, so we'll see how that goes. Last episode, we basically wrapped up the creation of post. We got our emojis finished up and displayed and everything like that. There's still a couple bugs I want to go through and iron out, but I think we're going to take a break from all of that post stuff. I want to go ahead and get it so that we can go ahead and see some stuff on the feed page. Now, to be able to see stuff on the feed page, we need to be able to actually follow people, and to follow people, we need to be able to basically search for people. I'm sure there's probably, Twitter probably does like a thing where it displays like popular posts or something, but I'd like to have like a search functionality. So basically what I want to go ahead and do, I think, is create kind of like a new service. This will maybe be called like discovery service or something. We can search for people, we can search for like maybe content inside a post and things like that. For the time being, we're just going to return users, and then of course we need some users to also go ahead and be able to follow. So then I'm also thinking that we might go through and I guess maybe do some nitty-gritty, not as fun stuff, where we're going to go ahead and be able to insert users. I did find some data or figure out how to deal with that. So let's just make sure that I can actually run the application, because sometimes for some reason the database doesn't persist. I don't know why it does that. Cool. And we might need to adjust the font size on this. I haven't really touched this all that much. So let's go ahead and I guess let's just make a new service, and we're going to go ahead and call this discovery service. All right, ignore that. We'll throw at service over this. At service. Whoops. Service. Okay. And basically there's like several things. So there's top, there's latest, there's people, there's media, and then there's lists. I don't know what lists do. Basically, I want to be able to search for people. So we're going to do hopefully like a little bit of a fuzzy search. We might need to go into our user repository and search for a user by, or search for a user like yada, yada, yada. The only thing is I'm not 100% sure how we're going to deal with this and what we're going to search by. So let's go ahead and say a list of application user, and we're going to go ahead and say find by, and we're going to say, I think we want username, I think, containing, and then we're going to say string name, I guess. I don't know if that's how we want it. We might want username here just to be safe, excuse me. And let's go ahead and import our list. I'm surprised we don't have it in there. Util, that's fine. Cool. So basically we want to search for people by this. It's going to be hard to search because we don't have that many people in there. We need to set up something in here, and then also basically inserting a bunch of people. We'll probably just start out by inserting some cartoon characters that we can follow and maybe follow each other and stuff, and we'll have to figure out how we're going to sort them and stuff like that. We'll probably need a comparator to compare the users by their followers or whatever, but I think that's probably fine. We'll see how this works. So now in our discovery service, let's go ahead and say private final user repository, and we'll go ahead and say user repository, and I don't know what your problem is, and then we're going to go ahead and say at auto wired public and discovery service. I'll figure out what's wrong with it in a second, and we'll go ahead and say user repository this user repository is equal to user repository. Cool. So now we have the user repository set up. So basically we want like search by user, search by yada yada yada. By default it'll probably actually search by top or whatever, and top is just like top posts. So we'll say public list of application user, and let's go ahead and import list as well. Again, I'm just kind of going off the seat of my pants here, and we're going to say search for users, and then we'll also go ahead and have string and username. Again, I don't know 100% how this is going to work, but we'll go ahead and say like list application user users is equal to user repository, and then dot find by username containing username. Now this is also something we might want to paginate eventually, but for now I just kind of want to get this working. And the other thing is we might also want to have like their username inside of description. I don't know what's wrong with Discovery service. It's because it doesn't return this, so let's go ahead and return a new array list for the time being, and then that should quiet this down for a second. We'll do a new array list, and let's also add these other ones. So say back in our user repository, also go ahead and have a list of application user where we find by, let's do nickname containing, and then string nickname. Let's make sure nickname is lowercase, otherwise it's going to be mad. Okay, cool. And then we'll also do a one with a list of application users, and this will be find by, and then this one will be bio containing, and then this will be string bio. So now we're going to be able to search for all three of those. The idea here is we'll search for all three. We'll go ahead and put them in a set, and then we will loop through them and basically sort them by some comparator probably. So let's go ahead and go into here, and we're going to say list of application user. So this will be users by username. We'll have a users by, and this will be nickname equal to user repository dot find by nickname containing, and we'll pass in username. Maybe we want to put this as search term to make it more inclusive. So we'll try to find by that search term. Try to find it by that, and then a list of application users by bio equal to user repository dot find by bio containing, and then we'll pass in our search term. And the idea here is that the specific person we're searching for, we should probably be able to find their username, and they're probably the most popular, and then so on and so forth. And maybe we also go by how close it is. I'm not sure how we'd do that. I mean, we could probably search by specific username. So if you get it exactly, then it'll pop up, and then maybe that'll be the first result, and then kind of go from there. So be like most specific to least specific. I haven't really figured out exactly how I want to do that, but we can maybe figure that out as well. So give me one moment here. We have those. So now basically we want to take these and put them into a single set. That way we don't have duplicate people. And then from there, we want to go ahead and sort this. We could put it into a set that automatically sorts by a comparator. I forget what this is called. I don't think it's it might be a tree set. So what we can go ahead and do is we can create a comparator where we basically compare the users, how many followers they have. So basically how popular they are. Do we have a utils? We do not have a utils. So let's go ahead and make a utils package. So new and package, and we'll just call this utils. And then inside of our utils, we'll make a new and Java class, and we're gonna go ahead and call this discovery comparator, or how do we want to say this? Discovery user comparator maybe, because there's going to be other comparators that we have as well. And I'm just going to ignore this. So this is going to, I'm pretty sure it's implements. I don't remember comparator. And this is going to be of type application user. And then we also want to go ahead and implement the method. So there should be, it's supposed to be compared to, or maybe it is this, because I think natural ordering uses compared to. So we're going to compare application user 01 and application user 02. Let's go and import these classes. There we go. So basically what we want to go ahead and say is if 01.get, we're going to get followers dot size is greater than 02 dot get followers dot size, and I might end up getting these backwards, we'll see. Then we want to return, this has to be an if else, so we will return 1 else if our 01 dot get followers dot size is less than 02 dot get followers dot size. Here in this case, we will go ahead and say return -1, and then otherwise we will return 0. They're basically the same. We can use integer.compare. So sure, we'll say integer.compare, and we'll say 01.get followers dot size, and then 02.get followers dot size. So I guess we can cheat a little bit and do that. Sure, dot size. So now basically what we can go ahead and do, and we want to return this, so we let Java do the logic for us, I guess. So now what we want to go ahead and do is we want to insert all of these into the set, which will be interesting. So we'll have a set of application user sorted application user set, and we'll go ahead and import set. Sure is equal to a new, and we want a new tree set. And inside the tree set, we want, I believe, to pass in the comparator. So we're going to go ahead and pass in the discovery user comparator. And I don't know if you have to have .class. So we might have to make a new discovery comparator. So maybe do this. Private final discovery service comparator. And I'm just going to say discovery service comparator should be discovery user comparator. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and try to import this again. Initialize in constructor, that's fine. Yep. So we can say this dot discovery user comparator is equal to a new discovery user comparator. This probably could have been a whatever it's called, but we're really only going to use it here. So I'm not that concerned about it. Let's pass in that. Let's try this. So we have all three of these. Let's say stream of our application user, and this is going to say combined stream, sure, and then equal to stream.concat, and we're going to say inside of concat, we're going to say users by username dot stream. We're going to say users by nickname dot stream, and users by bio dot stream. And then let's see if we can dot, and we can map it, we can collect, and we can say maybe collectors dot toSet, and then maybe this can be a set of application users. Let's see what the problem is. Expected 2 but found 3. We'll get rid of this guy, and then instead of collecting, we'll say dot concat again, I think is what we can do. So I think it wants us to do this. So we have inside here, we'll say stream dot concat, pass this, and then pass users by bio dot stream, and then dot collect, and then collectors dot to set. And then we have our set of application users, we'll say combined set sorted application set dot add all. I guess, yeah, we can do that, and we can go ahead and add all of the combined set. We can go ahead and, I need to get a new keyboard or something. It's double clicking not like crazy. Okay, and then basically, maybe instead of returning a list, we go ahead and return that set. So we can go ahead and return our sorted application user set instead of this array list. We'll double check. We're going to do some work to get this all working. So now that we have search for users, let's go ahead and make a discovery controller and then kind of go from there. And theoretically, if this returns nothing at all, it should just be an empty list. And we can check that. So go into our controllers, go into our new Java class, and we'll just say discovery controller, and we'll have at rest controller. Oops, too many L's. And we'll say at request mapping, so slash, and this will be discovery. We want to make sure we have this somewhat consistent, and then we'll have a private final, and then this will be a, what are we going to call this? So this is a discovery service. So discovery service, and then discovery service at auto wired public discovery controller, and this will take in a discovery service and discovery service. This dot discovery service equal to discovery service. This could probably be a GET request with a path param. We're gonna go ahead and say public, actually say at get mapping, and this will be to slash users. So let's just go ahead and say public, and this will return a set of application user. And let's go ahead and import the set and that, and then this will be search for users, and this will say at request param, maybe. And then inside the request param, I guess we don't need it, we'll just say string search term, and then here we'll go ahead and return our discovery service that search for users and pass in our search term. That should be fine. Now we need to set up the Spring Security, which I haven't touched Spring Security in a long time. So this will be interesting to say the least. So let's go back into our security config. So this should be fine. This is already set up for authentication. The only thing that really stinks, I need to go back through. Whenever I reset my computer, I lost all of this. So that's no bueno. I'm gonna go ahead and make a new collection though. I'm gonna go and just make a new folder for discovery and make a new GET request. And this will just be users. And then http:// localhost 8000 discovery/users. It might just be /user. Let me double check. So it is /users. We have a question mark. Search term equal to, and then search term will be like, for example, Billy or something. And honestly, I might say like Rick, because we're gonna add like Rick and Morty. Something I just realized, whoops, we need to ignore case. So I'm pretty sure if we come into our repository, so we want to ignore case, I believe is how we do it. And it might be ignoring case, I don't remember. But we don't want case to mess this up. So go ahead and update these to ignore case, ignore case, and ignore case. And again, we'll double check to make sure it works. We don't want it like someone like typing in lowercase, but the person has uppercase in their name or whatever. So we just need to be safe. Cool. So now I need to remember how to log in. So let's go ahead and go back into Postman, and I will go ahead and make another new folder, and I'll add all these back, and this one will be auth. And then I'll make a new request, and this will be login, and this one's actually a post request. HTTP // localhost 8000 auth login. And I'll have to double check that this is actually what these are supposed to be. Raw JSON, yep. And username is unknown coder. If this doesn't work, we're going to do some debugging. And I'm pretty sure our password is just password, and that's going to add to all of these just to be easy and safe. Now we're going to find out if this is proper. So let's see. So okay, we got that. We want our token. We need to copy this token, and we should be able to come in here, go into our headers, and we're going to need authorization, and we need bearer, and then paste that, I believe. And we need to get rid of, whoops, this, and okay, I don't think I got on the other one. Okay, cool. I think that's all we need to do, and we have search term Rick. This should just return an empty list. 404 not found, discovery users, and we need to restart because I forget for whatever reason IntelliJ does not actually refresh this. That's something I want to look into. And let's log in. Actually, it might still be fine. Yep, okay. We're good. It's empty. So basically now what we need to do is we need to insert a whole bunch of users, and that also means we need to update our application user and maybe one other thing, maybe not. So let's just go ahead and come back in here. Whoops, not that, IntelliJ, and let's go into our models. So let's go into our application user, and now instead of auto, we actually want this to be identity. Whoops, identity, and that will allow us to actually insert users. So like I said, I'm pretty sure that this is the one for password. So I'm going to copy this, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to, inside my resources, make a new and file, and this is going to be called data.sql. And I'm going to set it up so that it actually reads this automatically and then puts in the users. There is a couple of settings I need to set up first to make sure that it works properly. So come into our application properties. So we're setting up this stuff. We can just set it here. We want to say spring.jpa.defer-data source initialization equal to true. So this will basically say, hey, wait until everything's loaded up to add it. We also need spring.sql.init.mode equals to always. And then this will always make sure that we load in the data. So now what we could do is also, if we want to go into this, we could grab our user and set all this information if we wanted to. But now basically we can say like insert into, and we can go ahead and insert it into, and I think we just call this users. So we come in here, just called users, so we can insert into users, and then we can go like this. So what we basically want to insert is, let's go ahead and insert like the email, maybe, well, I don't feel like doing bios, maybe I can do that later. Enabled, we need true, first name, last name, password, and then username, and the other ones we don't really care about. So let's go ahead and do that. It might be a good idea to go through and like get like the top users from Twitter or something, and basically figure out who they're following and stuff like that, and set it up so it's kind of like Twitter, and we have some like top tweets and all that stuff, but it is what it is. So let's go back into here. So the first one would be email. So we want email, we want enabled. After enabled, we want first name, last name. So first name, last name. Let's do nickname because we are searching by that. I'm a little bit concerned about bio, but it's probably fine. So first name, last name, nickname. We want the password. And then what else do we want after password? We need email, I guess. And then we also want to insert username. And I think that might be everything. And we can say values, and we'll see how badly I do here. So first email will be rick@mail.com. We'll have true. And then first name will be Rick. Next will be Sanchez. Nickname. So nickname will be Rick. Nickname can be anything basically. Password will be this. So let me go and grab the password again. So copy this. This should technically be password, and we're gonna check this before we get too crazy here. I have email twice. Let's go and get rid of that. And then finally, username will be like Rick Sanchez. And maybe we also put the bio, I guess. Let's go ahead and throw bio in here. Bio, and then bio will be like something like shoot. What if I can do this? Seems fine. Pickle Rick. I don't know. Let's see if we can get this value inserted. I messed up. These should be single quotes. So that, if that's the issue, that should be pretty easy fix. Let's save that data.sql. The only thing I can think of is this guy. So maybe I get rid of this. Okay, it started. Now the real question is, did it create and actually add that person in there? So if we come into our database and let's go ahead and give this a nice refresh. So now you can see I'm Pickle Rick. We have the mail, first name, last name, the nickname. So there's one. And like I said, this part might not be the most fun thing in the world, but I want to add some people in here. That way we can maybe start following some people and getting some that set up that whenever we search, it pops up. So now we say Morty@mail.com. They are verified. First name Morty, second name Smith, and then maybe he says his nickname is Mort Dog or something like that, right? And then the password will be this password again. Copy that. And then maybe his username is Morty Smith. And then we'll say Rick is my grandpa or something. And then we'll say Summer. I don't know if it's, I think it's spelled like that. I don't know. Summer@mail.com. True. And then we'll say Summer and Smith, and then we'll say Summer, and then we'll have the password as password. I don't know why it did that, but thank you. Password will be basically set up as password, and then her username will be SS Summertime. I don't know. And then my brother Morty is so annoying. He never lets me join adventures with my grandpa Rick. Again, I'm trying to add like stuff in the bios so they kind of like links each other together. So maybe Summer has the most followers or something, and then Rick has the next or something like that, you know. Next we'll say bird person@mail.com. True. Bird person. And then nickname will be bird person. Right, and then we'll do that. Again, I don't know why it can't paste inside of it, but okay. Have bird person, and then maybe again, let's have bird person, and then I don't remember much about bird person, but I committed many war crimes in the Gears War. Okay, So we added some people there. Again, it's not very much, but I wanted just like something to start out with and be able to follow each other and stuff. So let's go ahead and refresh, make sure I did this right. There's a good chance I didn't. Let's see. Okay, it all started. If we come into here and give this a nice refresh, give this a nice refresh, we can see we have all of our people with our usernames. We didn't put phone number in. Wasn't that concerned about phone number, but there's a bio. It's got email, first name, last name, nickname, username, so on and so forth. And again, we're gonna ignore case whenever we search for these. So now let's go ahead and do some like following and stuff. And I'm wondering if we want to go ahead and do followers and following like tables, right? Just to like make it easy on ourselves. I don't remember exactly how this is going to work, which is not fun either. So we'll have to figure out what to do with that. So let's go ahead and go into here, I guess. Let's go back into here. And then let's just like say insert into followers. So let's say that bird person, so ID 1 is being followed by ID 4, and then insert into following values, it's going to be the opposite, 4, 1. So I'm pretty sure what this means is, so basically Rick has the follower of bird person, and we probably didn't need to do it this way. I think this was just to make it kind of easier inside the object itself. And then this is basically saying bird person is following Rick. And let's make sure that this kind of works as I expect. I don't know. Let's go into our user controller, and I think there's a way to get the following and followers, so we can say get follower list, and I don't think this actually requires being logged in. I mean, I can log in, I guess I can log in as someone and view it, so yeah, that's fine. So let's just rerun this. I should still have a bearer token, so it should be fine. So now we logged in. Let's go ahead and take a look at the database. So if we go into followers and give it a refresh, we should see 1-4, and we open up following, it says 4-1, so it's like a mirror. Again, this could have been all like one big table, like following follower junction or something. We could have read from one or another or something like that. I was trying to keep it somewhat unconfusing because the whole thing's really confusing. So let's just go ahead and make inside of our Let's Build Twitter, I'll go ahead and add a new folder for user, and then inside of user, I'll just go ahead and make a new request. And then this is going to be followers maybe, and HTTP, so HTTP enter, and I believe this is under user / followers / and then we want to see who's following who. So this takes in the username, so we'll say Rick Sanchez. And I don't believe it actually needs the auth token. So if I just run this, does this work? 500, the user you're looking for does not exist. Well, it might help if I do that correctly. I should probably deal with that. Hopefully they didn't crash the server. No, I don't think it crashed the server. I just think I did. I don't think I actually handled that very well. All right, cool. Anyway, let's try it again. So now we actually write Rick Sanchez properly. So yeah, Rick Sanchez has followers, bird person, and if we say following Rick Sanchez, and this should see they're not following anyone. If we say following for bird person, we should see Rick Sanchez, right? So bird person is following Rick Sanchez, and then followers for Rick Sanchez. If I can type Sanchez is bird person. So that worked. So let's add a couple of followings here just to basically make it so we can have a thing that gets sorted. Again, I don't want to go too crazy. So let's go ahead and set up like all the people following Rick. So we'll go ahead and also have Morty follow Rick. So insert into followers 1, 2, and then insert into following 2 comma 1. So we'll say Morty is following Rick, and then we'll say Summer is following Rick. So then we can say insert into followers 1 comma 3, and then insert into following 3 comma 1. Maybe Rick is only following Bird Person and Morty or something. So Rick is following Bird Person. So we can say insert into followers. And then here we'll say 4 comma 1. Basically opposite. Insert into following 1 comma 4. Hopefully this isn't an issue with like the keys, but I don't think it will be. So maybe Rick is following Bird Person and Rick is following Summer, or not Summer, Morty. So then we'll say insert into followers. So this one will be 2 comma 1, and insert into following 1 comma 2. So there. So Rick is following 2 people. Rick has 3 followers. Rick has 3 followers. Rick is following 2 people. So Bird Person has 1 follower. Bird Person has 1 follower. So maybe we also say, so let's say Morty has 2 followers, right? So say, we'll go ahead and say Bird Person is following Morty, and then here we'll insert into followers 2 comma 4, and then insert into following, and we'll say 4 comma 2. Trying to make like a clear like ordering here. And then finally maybe Summer has 1 follower, where Summer probably more, but it is what it is. Insert into following for followers, and then we'll say Bird Person's following her, so this one's 3. Yeah, so 3 comma 4, and then insert into following would be 4 comma 3. Hopefully I didn't mix those up, but now those should basically be set up. So Rick should have 3 followers, Morty should have 2, and then Summer should have 1 follower. So if I refresh, let's make sure that these get added. Although this should probably be 3 1. Oh, you know what? I forgot values for all of these. Shoot. Okay, I see what the issue is. Values. I don't know how I missed values on all of these. You guys are yelling at me through the screen right now, saying, "You idiot, you forgot values." But I can see now. The rain is gone. Okay, let's fix all these up. Save. Okay, let's try to run it again. Okay, much better. So now if we take a look at our database and we go ahead and refresh our followers, refresh, you can see 1 has 3 followers, 4 has 1 follower, 3 has 2 followers, 2 has 1 follower. We can also look at following. So if we refresh this table and take a look at following, they're following 1 person, 2 is following 1 person, 3 is following 1, 2 is following 2, 4 is following actually 3. Cool. So that's all set up. Again, I would like to add maybe scrape some data from Twitter, insert all of that, and like kind of figure out who's following who, stuff like that. The only issue is we want to be careful with random people's data, obviously. So maybe we won't do that. Maybe I'll just make some Mockaroo data and have them follow each other, something like that. And that might work. I could probably do some Mockaroo data with random names and then random values and stuff like that. But there's that. So now if we want to search for like a user, so if we come back into here, discovery, so maybe we want the term to be Rick. So we should find a couple people. So we found Morty Smith. So I think this is backwards because this one obviously got it because Rick is my grandpa, right? If we put Smith here, Morty should be first. Interesting. Summer didn't pop up at all. Oh, you know what? Because we didn't do by first and last name, we said by nickname. That makes sense, I guess. So yeah, if we put Rick, we say Morty. 2 should pop up, I think. So yeah, so Morty pops up and then Summer pops up. Now the thing that concerns me is that whenever we did Rick, Morty actually popped up first and Rick's at the bottom, even though theoretically Rick should have 3 followers. So we have follower here, follower here, and follower here. So if we come back into here in the postman, maybe if it wants to open and we look at followers and Rick Sanchez, there should be 3 followers in there, as you can see. So basically he should be first in line. So this is like backwards from what I want for whatever reason. I wonder if I can say negative integer in that work, because we basically want to flip it, and then if it's a 0 it shouldn't matter. I don't think. Who knows, I could be wrong and this could totally not be legal. But if we go ahead and say this, so if we go ahead and search for Rick, hopefully Rick pops up first. We see Rick first because he has the most, and so on and so forth. So it might not be the most perfect searching system, but I think it's going to get the job done for what we need, basically, because basically what we need is just to be able to more or less pop it up so that we can basically follow people. Yeah, I think that's probably good here. So we could also search for posts and all of that stuff, but we're not at that point yet, and there's probably a little bit more I can also do inside this once we get a little bit farther. But for now, I think this is fine. I think that's going to conclude what we're doing for Java for now, and we might go back into our front end. So let's go ahead and get the front end running. Basically, what I want to work on in the front end is the search bar on the side. It's very simple, just goes at the top. It looks like it sticks on the top as well, and then if you type into it, it does have like a recent search, so that's interesting. If you type, it looks like it searches for users. Let's just get like search going, I guess, and then kind of go get just small search bar going and then kind of go from there. So maybe we make a new folder called this discovery, and we'll make a new folder called components. We'll make some new stuff in here, and then inside components, a new file, and this will be discovery search bar, maybe tsx. This should have been inside of a new folder called discovery search bar. So let's go ahead and fix that. Discovery search bar. And let's move this into there. Yes. And then new file, discovery, search, search bar .css. And we probably need a whole section as well. And there's also going to be discovery search page, which we're not going to get into tonight. Obviously, we don't have time. So let's just go ahead and import React. So import React from React. And we'll need a couple other things. Let's just get a very simple search bar open. And then we will say export const discovery search bar, and just say react.fc, and this will be an arrow function. And for now, it's not going to take in any properties, and return, and we'll return a div, the class name equal to discovery search bar. Cool. So what's your problem? React to FC. Whoops. There we go. All right. So the search bar will have a, I guess if we click on this, it probably pops it up. Yeah. So we need use state. Use state, and basically use state will check to see if the bar is active. So const bar, we'll just say active, I guess, and set active. And this will be equal to use states, Boolean, and it'll start out as false. And then based on whether or not this is true or false, we will do some styling. What we'll do now is inside we'll have an icon, and let me go to material UI. Let's go ahead and grab the icon for the hourglass or the magnifying glass. Okay, search icon and search, and let me copy this guy. So copy that, bring in the search icon, and we'll have a search icon there, and this will need some sort of stuff on it. Well, basically we can set it underneath or something, that's fine. Inputs, class name will be equal to discovery dash search dash bar dash, and then this will be input. We want an on focus for sure, so on focus and on blur, and that'll do stuff. And then I guess we'll say on change, because I'm guessing it updates as we go. So have it on change, it'll have a placeholder equal to search, and I think that's all we're gonna have for our search bar. And basically what we'll do is on focus, we can do something like literally dead simple as this. On focus, we set active to true, and then on blur, we set active to false, and then on change, we need a dispatcher. So we can go ahead and say const handle change is equal to React function with React.change event on an HTML input elements. And then here we need to set up our dispatcher, which we do not have. Okay, so now we also need like a discovery section that goes inside of the homepage, or I think it's the homepage, because the homepage has feed, has a navigation section, and then it has, this one says info section. I could probably rename this discovery, but it is what it is. So we need this section, and it looks like I just called it like navigation feed, whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and just call this, I'm gonna say new folder. I'm gonna go ahead and call this just discovery to kind of go with the flow of what I had earlier, and new file, and this will be called discovery.tsx. And let's go ahead and make a new file and discovery.css, and inside of our tsx we will import React from React. And then the reason why I'm not just storing it in here, like the search data and stuff, is because we're gonna have another page whenever we actually enter that takes you to like a search page. So that's why I'm kind of doing it the way I am. And then we will also import our /discovery .css, and this one's going to be also dead simple. Export const discovery the react.fc equal to an arrow function, return a div with a class name equal to discovery, and inside we will have a discovery dropdown, discovery search bar actually, and it's not gonna have anything inside of it. And then we're also gonna have a few other things, but basically I want to get just the search bar showing up. And so now I can actually maybe see how big this search bar is. So if I come into our .css and I grab discovery, copy this and do this discovery, so width will be 350 px basically no matter what. Height will be 100%. Okay, now we might need a top section, which basically is sticky to the top. So we might go ahead and say div class name equal to discovery dash, and then maybe we say like sticky or something. and then this is sticky to the top. So copy this, paste it in here, and then we're gonna say discovery sticky, and go back into here and put this discovery sticky, and here we'll say position is sticky, and top 0. Again, we can't see this yet. We're gonna need probably some sort of padding on this. So I'm wondering if I do margin, this would be right, of like 12 px or 16 px, and it might be more like 32 or something, but let's just see what that looks like. Discovery sticky, we'll do that. We might need a background color of white on that, and we might need width 100%. It's kind of messy, and height, it's about 46 tall, which is really weird. I'm gonna say 50 pixels. Let's just round it up. Height will be 50 pixels. It is what it is. It's not going to be perfect. I don't care. So we have a discovery sticky. We have a discovery search bar. We should be able to copy this. Well, actually, we'll go into our discovery, new file, say index.ts. I think we can just do tx. Let's go into import our discovery, and we will want to return discovery search as well. So we'll go ahead and import import discovery search bar. I don't know what that deal is, but export discovery and discovery search bar. Excuse me, we're not gonna use discovery search bar right now, but we will in a little bit. So let's go to home, and let's go ahead and bring in our discovery. So here we'll say discovery, import that, and let me go ahead and open up our private browser. Let's go ahead and log in as unknown coder. I need to fix that, whatever. Password. So now obviously it's really small, it won't let us scroll because we don't have no space there, so we'll have to deal with that later, but we can at least make the search bar look nice and deal with all that. So now also let's see what the spacing looks like. So yeah, I think the spacing probably needs to be a little bit more, maybe like 24 pixels. So let's just go ahead and deal with the spacing really quick. So in the spacing and home, so 16, let's see what 32 looks like. 32 might be way too much, but although I think I kind of like 32, so we're gonna keep that. All right, so now back to a discovery search bar. Let's go ahead and import our CSS. So import our / discovery search bar, and we're gonna go ahead and in our class we're going to do this. And we're going to say active ? And we're going to have search bar active or discovery search bar inactive. So if it's active, we'll do one thing. If it's deactive, we'll do another thing. So we'll go ahead and do the inactive first. Let's copy this, and we'll come into discovery search bar. So width, I think I want 100%. Height, I think we go, it says 44. Let's go 45 px. And then padding, yeah, 12 px. So now we should be seeing a little bit of a difference. So you can see we need to move this guy, but you get the gist. If we click on this, we're going to go and focus it. And whenever we click on this, it makes it active. So it's kind of scuffed, but we can deal with that. So now our background color will be transparent. We'll have border none. Actually, no, that's the wrong thing. I don't think it matters what the background color is on this actually. So maybe we do want to do background color, and this is a mess. I probably should have done this differently. Maybe we go gray, and maybe we go light gray. I don't know. Border will be none, but we will have a border radius of 23. So I guess maybe we do 44 just to make it a nice round number. We should be seeing a little bit of difference, and that might be a little bit dark. We might want to go light gray, and we might want a little bit of space at the top as well. So let's go with the light gray color, copy this, and let's go ahead and come back into here, paste in the light gray color. Now it's probably going to be almost indistinguishable. No, that's good. I think I like that. We will go ahead and let's add a margin top to this. So in our padding, margin top, we'll do, it's not very much, maybe like 4 pixels, just very slight margin top, just to get it off. Like, I think that looks good. And then we'll go ahead and we can say display flex. We can justify content flex start. We might actually be able to get away with not doing what I was thinking, and then align items in the center. So I think this might actually fix a lot of our issues. Like, that looks pretty darn good. We just need to basically set how wide the search is. So like maybe like 80% or whatever. 80% might be too big. And I honestly even like the size of this guy. The only thing that I'd want to do is maybe change the color. So SX equal to, we can say color colon. We probably want like the gray color. I'm assuming it's probably gray. Again, I don't know what it actually is because I have dark mode on. So I'm guessing it's going to be dark gray or gray. We'll see which one looks better. So this one, I think we'll probably go with that. And then we also might want a cursor pointer, so we can also easily add that. Now the issue is, I wonder if I can say z-index on this. So I basically want to be able to click through this, and this will be like a -10. I might have to say z-index actually. So let's try that. Z-index with uppercase, maybe. I don't know that z-index is gonna work. I might have to do some other trick. Yeah, shoot. Let's do this. So we'll get rid of z-index. Let's go ahead and wrap this in a div. Class name is equal to, and we'll just say discovery search bar icon wrapper. And literally all we're gonna do is make it the exact size of the search icon, except it's gonna have an on click on it. I hate that copy an empty clipboard is an option for anything. So basically on click will equal to, and we're going to say const focus on inputs. And basically what I want to go ahead and do is, I guess we need to set up a ref, input ref equal to use ref. It's not, I don't love this. This is an HTML input element. Start out as null. Let's go ahead and bring in use ref. So this is very simple. Basically say if our input ref and input ref dot current, then we're gonna say input ref dot current dot focus. So we're going to try to focus on the input. If we click on this, we want to focus on the input. Will this work? I don't know. I'm hoping it does. But let's go ahead and copy this. And I want to make this very, very simple. Oops, wrong button. So let's fix this. Maybe. So dot discovery icon wrapper. And we're just going to say width fit content, height fit content. And then margin will be 0 and padding will be 0. I want it to be just dead on, nothing in there. Click on, if we click on it, oh man, it's not centered. What if we do this? So we know it's 24 by 24. You know what? What if we say display flex justify content center and align item center. Wish we wouldn't have to do that. Cool. If we click on it, it doesn't work. Oh, you know what? We never put the ref on here. That makes sense. Ref equal to... It's going to be hard to focus on the ref whenever the ref isn't there. So if we click on it, it's focused. Okay. So basically, let's go ahead and grab the discovery bar active. And unfortunately, it's going to be a lot of the same. And we could have done this probably a lot better. So still width going to be 100% and all of this stuff. So I'm going to grab all of this. Again, not the best thing. Border, we 1px. Let's try 2px. 2px solid. And it's going to be the blue color from AppTX. I wish I would have done this differently. Again, if I could go back and change a couple things, I would. And we also need to change the color inside of this. So here, the color will actually be, let's do backticks. And we'll say $ curly braces. And then we're going to do active question mark. If it's active, it's actually going to be this color. This will be pretty simple. Otherwise, it'll be that color. Cool. So let's see here. If we go on Twitter, click on it. It's active, inactive. Easy enough. Looks good. So now we need to do the actual search bar input. Just copy this input and we'll come in here. Dot discovery bar input. Now here, so I guess we know that the wrapper should be like 28px by 28px. Like I could do something like width 10%, height 100%. And I think theoretically it should still center it, given that we have enough space. So we don't have quite enough space. So we did like, whoops, I did pixels instead of percent. It's like width 10% is probably more, way more than we need. That's fine. So let's do this. Let's do 15%. It needs to be slightly bigger because there needs to be slightly more space. And then we also, I think instead of, so it's moving a little bit. So I want this to be flex start as well. There. And now we can bring that back down to 10. Anyway, so now what we can go ahead and do is say width, and we could also go, I know I'm jumping all over the place, we can put column gap as like 12 pixels or something. And here width will be 90%. It's just going to make it fit. Height 100%. And then, so this is the actual input. So we want border none and outline none. That's what makes it look ugly. Font size can probably be slightly bigger. I don't know what the font size here is. Let's try like 16px. Font weight is pretty skinny, 400. And then color, we could probably just borrow the color. We want the color to be the gray color, and it might need to be dark gray just to be safe. So we come to AppTSX. Let's grab the dark gray so we can see it hopefully. Let's paste that in. And I don't know what else we need. Placeholder might be slightly lighter. Oh, we need background color. And I think, let's see, icon wrapper. Why does that seem like it's being weird? Is it the border? Let's also add background color to this. So background color will be transparent and font size might need to be bigger. So I don't know why it moves, but it moves pretty good. Oh, you know what? It's this. I put a column gap here. And honestly, that column gap is probably a bit much given the sizing. Try like 8 pixels. If we get rid of column gap altogether, I feel like it's too close. Honestly, I think that's probably good. It looks a little small, but I think it's probably fine. And if we wanted to, very quickly, a thing pops up whenever you start searching. It says like searching for people, list, or keywords. Now the only thing that's gonna stink about this, I mean, maybe, you know what? I guess it's sticky to the top, because I'm thinking we want this bar thing that pops up whenever we click to go over top of stuff, but that's going to mean that we need to know when it's active, and that means we're going to need to know when the search bar is active in multiple components. So I think that means we need to go ahead and set up the slice, but it's getting pretty late. There's only like 8 minutes left until 11, so I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. We got our searching done, so that's good, and we even got a little bit of the search bar figured out. It's working like Twitter's. So now whenever we want to type in here, we basically want to start searching automatically, and we want it to start popping up and a drop down here, and there's going to be other stuff below this. Keep in mind, I can't tell if it's sticky or not, so that's something we'll have to look at. But yeah, that's basically where we're at. So again, if you guys stop by the stream or you're watching it later on, thank you all for stopping by. This has been Ethan Encoder. I'll see you guys in the next episode or live stream. Have a great day, everybody.